Alongside today's continuation of the championship series, we take a look at Bert Blyleven assaulting a groundskeeper, why J.R. Richards should have stayed single, Mia Hamm's masterpiece of a Game Boy Color game, and much, much more. Take off your pants and do the naked dance. The Dugs have uploaded a new video. Welcome back to the Dugs. Everything we do here is an excuse to tell a lot of baseball stories and a lot of jokes, so if that sounds interesting to you, stay in the know and help us grow with a brand new subscription to our channel. Quick call out, all you viewers that have participated in the game prediction competition, stay tuned to the end of this video as we have a very important announcement. We are all even at 1 as we travel to Tucson for games 3 through 5. Should be a colorful matchup between two of my favorite features from the season. Today we feature a pitcher who loves farting so much he bought a shirt about it, wasn't aware of his real name, and can't remember movies he was in, as he takes on a pitcher who talks to baseballs and rolls around in the dirt on the pitcher's mound. Should be a classic. The Birds had some great outings, and he starts this one out strong. After keeping the snubs off the board in the first, here he is striking out the side of Reggie Smith, Jim Edmonds, and Bob Johnson. So we are scoreless in the third, but we will not be scoreless in the fourth. Don't look now, it's Josh Hamilton again. Tucson's on the board first with that 2-run home run, and Fidrets is making that 2-run advantage look pretty daunting. He walks Jim Edmonds to lead off the fifth, but immediately erases that scoring chance when Bob Johnson grounds into a double play. Scott Rowland follows that with a flyout, and I don't want to jinx anything, but Mark Fidrets has yet to surrender a hit. Blyleven's about to show us all about the other side of pitching, the taking a merciless beating from the opposing team's side of pitching. Canigliaro doubles to lead off the bottom of the fifth, and then Jackie Robinson doubles after him, and it's 3-0 Tucson. Dave Nielsen singles, and it's 4-0, and Nomar Garciaparra sac fly makes it 5-0. And this is where Blyleven comes out of the game. I'd be a little nervous if I were Tucson, as Blyleven isn't the kind of guy that you want to piss off. There's a short little snippet on YouTube where Blyleven tells one of his favorite stories. And before we get into it, I want you to take a look at his smile here, which is the smile that he cracks after spinning this yarn. So there's this groundskeeper that apparently isn't very nice to the club, saying such inflammatory things as,
"Oh, he'd say you guys stink."
And,
"You know, how are you guys even here?" and all this stuff.
The freaking nerve of that guy. So, Bert dreams up a proportionate response to those vicious tongue lashings. He asks the member of the grounds crew to step into the box. No bat? That's fine, just use your rake. You see, Bert needs a target to work on his inside heat, and he can't really do that without someone standing in the box. Predictably, he drills him in the ribs, and
He goes down, almost starts crying. I felt bad. I said, "Mac, we're done." And we left him there laying.
Revenge is a dish served with a light side of assault and battery, I guess. Anyhow, inning isn't over yet. Mark Fidrets does it on his own with an RBI single to make it 6-0. Mark Fidrets has never had an at-bat before this tourney, and he has decided pitching is cool and all, but hitting is where it's at. Although it does conjure the question, since he spent his career talking to the balls before he pitched them, what is he saying to them before he bashes their brains in with a baseball bat? Tucson keeps it going in the sixth. This is a solo shot from Jackie Robinson, and later that inning, Nomar Garciaparra would like to know if you've met his good friend Dinger. He's a long lad and high off his ass. It is now 10-0 Tucson. This game has gotten out of hand, but Todd Hilton still wants to be a buzzkill. This single is the first hit that Fidrets has given up this game, so we won't get the no-hitter, but this is the closest we've gotten to one of those in these tourneys. If that's left a little bit of resentment in you, we'll show you a little bit more of the snubs getting the crap kicked out of them. In the bottom of the seventh, Tucson goes for back-to-back home runs courtesy of Jackie Robinson and Josh Hamilton. This is the second home run of the game for both of them. I honestly don't know why they continue the game at this point, as someone should be yelling, "Stop, stop, they're already dead." So we'll kill it. When this one is all said and done, Tucson wins 17-0. Club Snub manages a single solitary hit due to the excellent pitching by Mark Fidrets. Tucson connects for 7 home runs in the game, and when he wasn't hitting 2 dongs, Jackie was picking up doubles, good for 12 total bases on the night. And so, Tucson emphatically takes charge of the series. Let's see if they can keep it going in Game 4.
It's the 4th game of a 7-game series. Tucson lead 2-1, so the stakes could only be slightly higher. If Tucson win, they aren't champions, but they're very nearly champions. If Club Snub lose, they haven't lost, but they are very nearly lost. It's very close to being very intense. I'm Hamish Hamden, and this is Game 4. The first person we're going to show you is Jeff Kent, because like a man sitting alone at a bar asking for one last pour of bourbon before returning home to loud children and a loveless marriage, he'll take a solo shot. That puts Club Snub up 1-0. And the second person we're going to show you is also Jeff Kent. He hits a 2-run homer, which is surprising because former teammate Milton Bradley once said of Kent that he doesn't know how to deal with African Americans, and Kent clearly knows how to deal with J.R. Richard on the mound. It is possible Bradley was not referring to Kent's hitting ability, but who knows? I mean, there was an incident where Kent stole Barry Bonds' seat on the team bus and wouldn't give it up, but I can't find any other incident in history where a refusal to give up a bus seat had anything to do with the African American community. After giving up 3 runs to Jeff more than a mustache Kent, J.R. Richard helps his own cause, treating this ball like his career earnings as it disappears rapidly into the distance. Seriously, poor J.R. Richard held on to money the way Tampa Bay held on to leads last year. 36 blown saves, Rays? Really? J.R. Richard was scammed by an oil company, scammed by his wife, and ended up homeless. It's a really good thing NFTs weren't around when this guy was playing. However, at the Dugs, we don't like to tell sad stories, so you'll be pleased to know that he turned his life around thanks to a church in Houston. One day he was actually able to take a church group out on a cruise, and he spoke to them about overcoming adversity. To demonstrate, they all gathered round the pool, and J.R. Richard explained to everyone that his life in baseball had been like flying high from a diving board. He then proceeded to climb up the highest diving board he could find. He was so high up you couldn't see him because of the clouds. Suddenly there he came, crashing down from higher than anyone had ever dove before. He hit the water, smashed through the bottom of the pool, smashed through the lower deck, and through the hull. Terrified, the church group threw life rings overboard, and incredibly, Richard survived. When they pulled him out, they asked how he was able to live through such an incident, and he proudly explained to them that it was okay, this had happened before. Yes, he'd been through many hardships in his life. Back to baseball. Flood singles, Conigliaro triples, and Tucson are right back into this, down only 3-2. Jackie Robinson comes to the plate, and it may be a ground out, but Conigliaro can score from third, it's the third inning, Snub have 3, Tucson have 3, like a collapsed wall at a prison, everybody gets 3. The symmetry doesn't last long though. Freehand restores Club Snub's lead by treating this ball like an elderly relative visiting for Thanksgiving who makes passive-aggressive comments that the turkey is rather dry. That's right, he smacks it as hard as he can and makes sure it never comes back. Bottom of the 5th now, Snub's still leading, but here's Tony, and that's a great start to the inning with a double. Jackie Robinson acts like a student in art class, creating a picture of Asian cuisine, and draws a walk. 2 on, and Cone's in trouble, but he strikes out Josh Hamilton, and is this Animal Crossing? Because that's a K, and a slider as Munson strikes out. It looks like Cone will get out of this, but here comes an Olympic silver medalist. Dave Nilsson won silver for Australia at the 2004 Olympics, despite their team having a 5-4 record, which pretty much demonstrates you could have got a medal in baseball at the 2004 Olympics if you'd been motivated. But no, you were sitting on a couch drinking Mountain Dew and watching 24, weren't you? So maybe leave Dave Nilsson alone. Look, he just hit a 3-run homer to put Tucson up 6-4. He's accomplished more than you ever will. Lou Whitaker is up next. We haven't mentioned Whitaker much. He's mostly been used in pinch hit situations this tournament, and this is his first hit in that role. But it's a shot worthy of Magnum P.I., a show he once cameoed on, as he makes it 6-5 in the 7th. The score stays that way into the 9th, so here's Darryl Kyle on for the save. DK was originally a starter for Tucson, but if you remember, he got hammered for 17 base runners and 7 runs in his only start. So he's been moved to the bullpen, where he's excelled. An unexpected turn of events for a player who had no career saves in the majors. He strikes out Freehan and gets Dick Allen to ground out, so it's all down to this at bat. Kenny Lofton is up. And according to a lawsuit from 2022, when Lofton is up, he likes to take pictures and send them to you to show just how up he is. DK picks the perfect pitch though, and Lofton comes up short. The game is over, Tucson take a 3-1 lead. Kent now has 5 home runs in the playoffs, but it wasn't enough to stop his team falling to defeat, thanks to the massive 3-run homer off the bat of Dave Nielsen. Things are now really exciting. We could have a champion in the next game, so I kick things back to the man who has a folder on his desktop marked Photos from Kenny. It's Johnny Paprika.
And so Tucson has 3 chances to take the championship down. The first chance might be their best, as no pitcher has been better this tourney than Smokey Joe Wood. In 3 of his 5 starts, he's gone 8 innings without surrendering a run. All that setup, but Club Snub draws first blood. We're scoreless for the first 2, but Snub's pitcher Tommy John successfully gets the sac bunt down, and much to the chagrin of virgins everywhere, Bill Dolan puts the benefits of a sacrifice on full display to give the Snubs an early 1-0 lead. But the lead doesn't last long. Dave Nielsen leads off the Tucson half of the third with a double. Following him, it's Freddie Sanchez, and he makes contact, but it's in the wrong direction, and Nielsen is forced to stay at second. Smokey Joe Wood is up next, and ball, you've been Joey smoked. Joey Wood lines a double and does it himself to tie the game at 1. An inning later, the Tucsons must still be jazzed up from their pitchers' efforts because they keep it going. Jackie Robinson and Josh Hamilton start the fourth off with back-to-back singles. But Thurman Munson gives the Snubs a huge gift with this double play ball, although Jackie Robinson gets over to third on the play. But it's Dave Nielsen picking his team up with a clutch 2-out single, and Tucson now has the lead. But that lead doesn't last long either. With the man on second, it's Bill Freehand with a 2-run home run. Well, thank goodness for that, because Bill has been straight up embarrassing this tournament. I haven't completely forgotten about your foibles, Freehand, but at least your supporters will have something to hang their hats on. 3-2 Snubs, and we've got a good one. That lead holds into the bottom of the 7th. John Franco comes in to pitch for the Snubs, and he gets the first 2 outs without difficulty, but I'm told there are 3 outs to an inning, which is huge if true. John must be surprised the inning isn't over yet, as he seems to have stopped pitching regardless. Tony Canigliaro draws a walk. Jackie Robinson draws a walk. And Josh Hamilton makes Franco reap what he sows as he singles and ties the game back up at 3. And that's where we sit at the bottom of the 8th. Time to start bringing the parade of closers in for Club Snub. Billy Wagner is the first man out of the pen, and I'll take a number 5 with a salad and no fries because I'm trying to watch my figure. Nomar Garciaparra has just put Tucson 3 outs away from the Season 2 title. If you don't know who Nomar is, he's Mia Hamm's husband. He met the soccer legend at a celebrity shootout where he handily lost. Well, Nomar, ever the competitor, and in a move that I'm sure was 100% in response to his embarrassing loss, bought into Los Angeles' MLS football club, who just this past year won the MLS title, and thus Nomar is now technically a soccer champion. I'm told he now walks around a little taller around the house. It's not Mia Hamm's first experience with a notable shootout, however. If I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of this game, but after finding it, I've decided to share its glory with you. Mia Hamm's soccer shootout starts at this title screen featuring the likeness of Mia Hamm and not a topographical map of Arizona as I originally thought. It also features this banger of a title screen song. If we get a copyright strike, it was worth it. Let's see a little bit of the gameplay as well. Now, warning you here, if you've got epilepsy, there's some stuff coming up that will most likely turn your brain to liquid and come out your nose, because even I'm starting to feel a little sniffly. Next thing, you've got to pick out a team, and lest you forget that you're playing a women's soccer game, they've filled out all the jerseys with some remarkable blouse clouds. Then we're in the game, and it's got a good thing going for it. I mean, Mia Hamm is a world-class soccer player. That's a huge resource for you when it comes to getting some realism in there. Take, for instance, the concept of moving efficiently. It's well known that the best way to run upfield is to make believe that you're twerking while holding a large wiener dog at either end. And then you just glide across the grass with little to no visible movement in the rest of your body. And uh-oh, we've just scored. Grab your mushrooms, it's time for a cutscene. Anyhow, back to the Doug's far superior graphics. Following Nomar, it's David Wright, and we are farmers! Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum! Insurance run, here we come! And those home runs are going to be enough to take the second Doug's championship down for the Tucsons. Here is Daryl Kyle striking out Scott Rowland to close this one out. It's Tucson in 5 games. Smokey Joe Wood wasn't dominant, but it's another quality start for him, and that's all the bullpen needed after the back-to-back home runs. Congratulations, Tucsons fans, and thanks to our viewers that have stuck with this tourney all the way through. So that's going to do it for Season 2. On that note, I expect our videos to be in that standalone sort of fashion for the foreseeable future. I love doing these tourneys, but we're still a relatively small YouTube channel, and the dream is to grow this thing as big as it'll go. I think new viewers are a bit intimidated when they see they're dropping into the middle of a 30-video playlist. It also kind of ties my hands when it comes to new videos. There were several times when I wanted to explore a timely idea that I had, but I didn't want to break up the series. That said, we're not going to change what the Doug is all about. We're mostly going to be doing simulations that we then Sportscenter up, mixed with a healthy dose of short documentaries. We're also going to be adding shorts into the channel. Now, I'm not a shorts fan per se, and if you're not either, rest assured we aren't going to be doing any new material in the shorts. Rather, we're just going to recut some of our better stories and jokes into shorts length and see if we can attract a different batch of viewers to our primary content. Our last piece of business is the prediction contest. This wasn't one of my best ideas. a contest where you had to make a prediction before the next video aired when most of the time I was posting videos on a daily basis. Not ideal. Still, we had 4 participants, and so here's how it played out. BKA came in late, went 1 for 1, and will retire with a batting average of 1,000. DFits917 hit half of his 4 picks. MO3TP went an impressive 5 for 8, and lastly, Lime Green Elevator was an absolute beast at getting their predictions in, and he got 16 out of the 33 right. So here's what I'm going to do. Everyone's going to start with a Doug's Care package that contains an autographed baseball by Hamish and I, a pack of baseball cards, a package of Big League Chew, if they still make that, and 1 random pick of 4 baseball cards I've had sitting around for ages. They're actually quite decent and includes rookie cards of Frank Thomas, Gary Sheffield, and Randy Johnson alongside a 1984 Cal Ripken Jr. card. EM03TP had the highest degree of accuracy, so to his package, I'm adding a copy of OOTP 23 or a rain check for OOTP 24, his choice. And lastly, you've got to respect the dedication of someone who made picks in nearly every one of our videos, and this guy has been around since the beginning. So I will be adding the same OOTP 23 or 24 prize to his package as well. If you all could just please email thedugsbaseball@gmail.com so that we can work out logistics, that would be greatly appreciated. A sincere thank you to everyone that participated in this or left comments throughout the season. It's a cliche, but this channel would not exist without you all, as I imagine making content and then shipping it out to the soulless vacuum of digital space would get kind of boring after a while. We hope that you all enjoyed the 2nd season of the experimental baseball tournaments. So, for Hamish, I've been Johnny Paprika, hoping all of your balls are fair and all of your water's good. Good night, everybody!